All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello everyone. How are you guys doing today? So just go ahead, let me know if you can hear me, if I'm coming through loud and clear, if you can see my screen, my wonderful wallpaper here. I just want to make sure I'm coming through loud and clear. Occasionally we have issues with GoToWebinar, so I've got lots of backups here. If the audio drops out, let me know. I can call in. If there's any issues with the visuals, let me know. I can see all the comments that are coming in. So excellent. Looks like you guys can hear me. I'm coming through loud and clear. Excellent. Fantastic. So while we wait here, just let me know where you guys are from. It's always interesting to see where people are in the world. I know I'm seeing a lot of familiar names too. Hi Pav, how David, Patricia, Octavio. Let's see, who else do we have on the call? Alex, Andrew, how you doing? Angela, Ann, Antonio, Art, Austin, Babs, Barry, Becca, Brenda, Bruce. Wow, a lot of people here. David again, how you doing, my friend? Don, Donald Goss, Eva, Greg. Wow, there's a ton of people. This is, you know what? I'm really excited to do this call. Hey Mike, how you doing? Mike Dubio. Glad to see you on the call. Patricia, I'm not sure if I said your name, but let's see. Rob, Rafal, Rodney. Wow. Sherry, Sanjay, Ty. Okay, so we have lots and Vanessa. Hey Vanessa. Lots and lots of people here, and I'm super stoked to do this call. And I'll tell you why. And actually, we have comments, people coming in, writing in. I've got two monitors set up here just as a failsafe. So let's see. We have Octavio coming in from Mexico, Laurie from Toronto. Oh, awesome. A fellow Canadian. I don't know, Pav, I believe you're Canadian as well, right? Also in Ontario. I'm up in Ottawa here. Ina says hi. Barry's calling in. Barry's from France. Holy smokes. You know, I had a call this morning, a group coaching call, and I had a couple of clients that wanted to come onto the webinar tonight, and they're in the UK. And they wouldn't do it because it's 2 o'clock in the morning. So Barry, my friend, I gotta hand it to you. That's dedication. Sanjay from India. Alex says, do you still do e-com businesses? Yeah, I do, absolutely. David, Texas here, Ohio. Let's see, from BC. Excellent. Wow. Drew from Victoria, another Canadian. Kevin from Malaysia. So this call wasn't actually going to happen. And what I thought it was so funny because I decided I'm going to ask you guys what you want to learn about. And I thought for sure, it's going to be sales funnels, it's going to be email marketing, it's going to be e-commerce, it's going to be, all of that kind of stuff. And I thought there's no way that Facebook ads is going to win because people have to spend money on advertising. And typically when you have to spend money on advertising, people aren't as fond of doing that. But oh my gosh, overwhelming response that you guys are looking forward to learning about Facebook ads, and you want to learn how to make them work for your business. And I'm a little bit surprised because this is covered. A lot of this stuff is covered in many programs out there. But what I've found after going through all of this stuff and learning all of this on my own is that there aren't many systems out there that tell you what to do on a daily basis. So they say, scale your ads by 20%, or here's how to find your targeting, or here's how to make great images. But when it comes down to what you do on a daily basis to manage the campaigns, do you scale? Do you kill the ads? How many ads do you run a day? How long do you let them run? Who do you target? All of that stuff really isn't covered a whole lot. And after running ads for a very long time, I've developed a system that works incredibly reliably. The reason why I developed this is that I'm fairly scatterbrained when it comes to work, and unless I have a linear process that I can follow, step 1, do this, step 2, do this, something that I can wake up in my coffee-induced groggy state first thing in the morning and figure out. So I made this system, and I put this together really for my own benefit about 6 months or so ago, and then here we are. I asked you guys what you'd like to learn about, and that's kind of where we are right now. So, let me go ahead and start at the beginning of the presentation. I was given a quick run through earlier. So, welcome to the webinar. Also, I've got the screen set up right now so that I can see your comments even though this is all full screen. And I've done that because when I do these calls in the past, occasionally we have audio issues. If there are any audio issues, if you're having any screen issues, go ahead, type in the chat, let me know. And if there's enough of you, if it's like, a GoToWebinar outage or something like that, we'll figure out a solution. Also, this is embarrassing to say because I've got a fibe connection, an incredibly fast and reliable internet here in Ottawa. For whatever reason, my internet occasionally drops for 30 seconds or something like that. So if you find that the video feed has stopped, or the audio isn't working, or I'm not responding, or anything like that, that could be a reason. Give it 30 seconds to a minute, and it should kick back in. And yes, Patricia, this is definitely being recorded right now. And actually, I'm just going to double check. I'm being paranoid here, but I want to make sure. Yes. Okay, so 5 minutes into it right now. We are recording. We're good to go. So why am I doing this? Well, Facebook ads can be incredibly, incredibly frustrating and difficult without a plan, to the point where you can spend hundreds of dollars and not have any results and just want to pull your hair out and decide this isn't for you. But if you do have a plan and you know what numbers to look at, advertising is really, really easy, because it boils down to a science. It boils down to what's better, A or B. Is the number higher or lower than what we want it to be? And once you boil it down to the absolute bare essentials, it's a matter of yes or no, and you don't have to guess at what to do. So most people, as I was saying, teach the theory behind the ads, but they don't teach the daily practical steps, the things that you need to go in and do every single day to get your ads to work. And it's an incredibly valuable skill that can benefit pretty much any business owner. So whether, like, if you're an affiliate marketer, that's awesome, you're in the right place. This will work with e-commerce, this will work with... I'm running these ads for local businesses, my consulting clients. I'm running these ads for e-commerce stuff, for info products, for physical products. Pretty much anything that you could think of. This is a skill that translates across markets, across prices, anywhere in the world. So it's very, very, very valuable. So here's what we're going to learn in the next hour. And if you read the emails, obviously you guys did because you're here, you'll recognize these bullet points. But this is exactly the 7-step system that I go through. And I thought it was a little bit contrived to write 7-step system in the emails, but truth be told, it actually just worked out that way, and it really is just 7 steps. So the very first thing, the absolute most important thing, and I spent hours today just trying to figure out the easiest way to explain this, is how to come up with your KPIs. Your KPIs are your key performance indicators, your baseline numbers that your company has to hit to be profitable, to hit your sales goals. And having this goal makes it a lot easier to track your progress. So we'll go over that. We'll talk about how to find perfect target audiences for your advertising and how to organize them so that it's really easy and very efficient to scale. I want to talk to you about something called the path of least resistance, that it helps you choose the way that you're going to be promoting your offer so that it's much more likely to be profitable on day one. We're going to talk about why a specific kind of images get clicked way more than any other type, and we'll talk about simple ad copy templates that grab people's attention very, very well and gets them to click on your ad right away. And the wonderful thing about this is that once you figure this template out, once that light bulb goes off, you never have to worry or wonder about to put in ad copy again, because this works in any market, it works with any product, and I'll show you a whole bunch of examples of this exact same template across 9 markets, I think it is, in the examples that we have. But anyway, a ton of them, and it's very, very effective. And then 6, we'll talk about how to increase your profit every day through simple A/B testing. And then I'll go over something called the 20% rule. And it's a very, very simple rule that I follow every single day that can either save you a whole bunch of money or make you a whole bunch of money. And if you don't follow this rule and you don't know what you're doing, like as an example, if you scale your ads by 50% instead of 20% or 100%, even if it's just $5 a day, it can ruin your advertising, and I'll explain why in a little bit. So if you do stay until the end, I got something pretty cool for you. And it's funny because this is another thing I've had for 6 months, but I just thought that nobody would really be interested in this. This is just my own personal ad template, my flow chart. And yes, I know it's blurry right now, and that's a hook to get you to stay to the end. There we go. But if you stay to the end, I'll give you that. It's just a quick little download. It's an image, but what I like about it is that you wake up in your half asleep state in the morning, and you're able to look at this and say, okay, here I am in the flow chart. This is what I need to do next. So benefits of Facebook advertising. And by the way, we will get to the over-the-shoulder stuff momentarily. The only thing that I have to explain with these slides are the KPIs, the analytics behind that, and then everything after that in the webinar is over my shoulder. But it's just really important you guys understand the numbers behind this, or the numbers behind your advertising, behind your business, because if you don't, nothing else matters. So it's super, super important that we cover that. That's also why I put it first, so I can spend as much time as necessary answering any questions. So benefits of Facebook advertising: extremely, extremely accurate, easy targeting. It's very inexpensive, and the nice thing is it gives you total control over your budget. If you only want to spend $5 a day, that's completely cool. You can do that, and you don't have to worry about going out and spending, accidentally spending $1,000 or $500. You're in total control. You can get hyper local and target people that live within 1 kilometer of a business that make more than XYZ per month and are interested in domestic cats or, whatever. I'm making up ridiculous things on purpose, but you get the idea, is that you can be extremely, extremely precise, more than any other kind of advertising, or you could advertise to anyone in the world. I think Facebook has, easily more than 1 billion members right now. I can't remember the exact number, but it's something like over a fifth the population of the world is on Facebook. It's very easy to test, very easy to scale as well, and you can get massive audiences spanning pretty much every single demographic out there. All right. Mike's saying, Adam, will you email us the slides after the presentation? Yeah, I can do that. That's not an issue. So I'm trying to think of the easiest way to do that, actually. So what I can do is either I'll email out a link to it, or I'll put a link at the bottom of the replay once I send the replay video out. It's just so I don't get hundreds and hundreds of emails saying, can you please send me the link? I'll figure out a solution, but yes, Mike, I will get you the slides. So, like I said, massive audience spanning pretty much every demographic, but there are certain advertising myths that go around Facebook that keep a lot of people at bay from this. The number one thing that I see is that Facebook advertising doesn't work for blank. And blank could be anything. Blank could be affiliate marketing. Doesn't work for affiliate marketing. Blank could be, doesn't work for local small business marketing. Well, it won't work for my dental practice. Okay, well, it won't work for my guitar store or for my flower shop or for my sales funnel, for whatever it is. And it's the biggest myth in the world, because everybody and their brother is on Facebook. And if your audience is on Facebook, that means advertising will work for you. Second one is advertising is too expensive. And that can be the case. That can be true. But that's not the fault of the advertising. With everybody competing for all these clicks, it's going to get expensive. Your job isn't necessarily to make advertising inexpensive. It's to make it so that your marketing campaigns turn a profit with that expensive advertising. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Only big companies profit from Facebook ads. Definitely not true. I know dozens and dozens, probably hundreds of people that are profiting from Facebook ads every single day, spending anywhere between $5 and $50 a day. You need to hire an expert to do this. One of the biggest mistakes you could possibly make if you don't, after you go through this webinar, okay, maybe hiring an expert would be okay, but hiring an expert without understanding how this stuff works would be like hiring a pilot to get you to your destination who's never flown a plane before, or no, that's a bad example. Bottom line is that you need to understand how this process works before you can hire somebody, so that you know whether they know what they're doing or not. Because there are a lot of Facebook advertisers out there who kind of fake it till they make it. So understanding this key performance indicator stuff, understanding how targeting should be done, will help you identify who is somebody that you should be working with and somebody who you shouldn't be working with. So you definitely don't need to hire an expert. This isn't difficult to do, and it is definitely a system. Another myth is that you need to spend hours a day monitoring the ads. That would drive anyone crazy. And in fact, I don't spend more than 20 minutes a day managing my ads. And I find that the more time I spend, the less well they do. And the reason why is because you sit there and you stress about them. You get anxious about them. It's like watching the stock market, Oh, well, I got 5 more clicks in, but they cost me too much per click. That stuff doesn't matter until the end of the day, when everything's evened out, when all the money is spent and all the cards have been played, so to speak. So the more time you spend on your ads, the worse they do, funny enough. So I'll show you how to spend about 20 to 30 minutes a day managing this stuff. And then another big myth is that you can lose thousands of dollars by accident. And you can set budgets and limits for everything, for individual campaigns as well as for your entire account. So you could set up safety nets to make sure that you never go beyond X amount per day, whatever your comfort limit is. And you can get started doing this stuff on $5 or $10 a day. So before we dive into this, there are just 2 realizations that I want you guys to absorb. Two ideas, concepts that I want you to kind of think about as we go through this. Number 1, most people expect advertising to be profitable right away, and it won't be. 99% of the time, your campaigns are going to lose money the first time around. You need to work to make it profitable. That one time it is profitable the first time around. The one time you do make money the very first time out of the gate, luck. That's all that amounts to. So don't expect to be profitable right away. Important realization number 2. When you first test your ads, you're not looking to get sales. Don't expect to get sales, because if you do, you'll be disappointed. Expect to get data. You're just looking to get information, which is why we're only spending $5 or $10 a day. What you're doing is learning what doesn't work so you can scale what does. So here's what most people think the big problem is. Ads are too expensive. I can't turn a profit. Advertising is too complicated and difficult to learn. My product or service can't be sold on Facebook because XYZ doesn't work. But what the real problem ends up being is that you haven't learned a way to make advertising profitable for your business yet. And without a system in place to tell you what's working and what isn't, you get advertising anxiety. Advertising anxiety leads to you second-guessing your decisions. You change or you cancel your ads too early because things aren't working the way you think they should be working. And then you feel frustrated because you've ended up spending, $100, $500, $1,000, $5,000 with some businesses. And you're hesitant to return again. Oh, let's see. Audio's back on. Okay. So hopefully it doesn't look like we lost too much audio there. Audio is back. But thank you guys are awesome. You guys are so cool. That's exactly what I was hoping everyone was going to do. Also, with this recording, I'm able to send it to GoToWebinar and say, hey, you guys got to fix this because all my awesome subscribers are on the call and the audio's gone. Rafasa is gone for 30 to 40 seconds. Well, thankfully, I am recording everything. Everything is being saved, not with the GoToWebinar system, that buggy system, but with ScreenFlow. So everything will be saved there. But I'll keep an eye on that, and if it drops again, let me know. And if it keeps becoming a recurring issue, I can call in. I got my phone right here, and I'll call in. So that's what the real issue is and how people feel about this stuff. So does that sound familiar to you? Have you guys, for those of you that have run advertising, that process of not understanding the numbers, canceling the ads, spending the money, not seeing results, sound familiar? David's saying yes. For anyone who's gone through the advertising process, it's kind of a baptism by fire. If you haven't learned from this stuff firsthand, Patricia says definitely, yes, definitely. Ina says yes. If you haven't learned through this stuff, either from somebody who's gone through the process or been through it yourself firsthand, it's a baptism by fire process. You're going to get burned, and it's going to be expensive, and that's the kind of the goal of this presentation, is to give you boundaries and guidelines and tools to limit that burn to be as small as possible, because it can be very frustrating at times running Facebook ads. But once you do get it up and running and once it works for your business, it's wonderful. So here's what happens once you actually do get this. You get an incredible sense of calm confidence because you can easily see what's working and what isn't working. Better yet, you know exactly what to do next to make your ads more profitable, and that you realize that you can make ads work no matter how expensive they are. You understand that the advertising is and this we'll get to later. I know this is cryptic right here, and alluding to something later on, but you understand that the advertising is just a very small part of a much bigger picture. Okay, so let's get down to it. So the 7 steps to making Facebook ads work for you. Number 1. I'm just at the tail end of a cold, guys, so if I'm, take breaks or if I'm coughing and drinking water a whole lot, I apologize. But each one of these steps requires a lot of effort. The more time that you put into planning this stuff, into prepping before you actually run your ads, the more profitable and the easier it's going to be. So don't be lazy, put the mental effort in to make this work. Also, don't cut corners. If you cut corners, if you skip parts, if you don't do the research to figure out what's motivating your customers, if you don't understand their needs, their interest, what's potentially preventing them from buying, it can cost you a significant amount of money. It can cost you tens of thousands of dollars potentially if this is a campaign that does well for you. Don't rush through this. The more time that you spend prepping your ads, the more successful they will be. Just like planning a house, when you're going to build a house, you need to have blueprints. You need to have the foundation built. You need to have the materials on site. You need to have all of this stuff ready Otherwise, when it comes time to lay the foundation, if you don't have the blueprints or you don't have the concrete there, well, then you've got to stop and solve that issue before you can move forward. So we take care of all of that stuff first so that when it comes time to running our ads, it's easy, it's fast, and it's not a pain. Okay, let's see here. And then don't change what's already working. Try this system as is before making any changes. So this is figuring out your KPIs. And I spent quite a while today, probably a couple hours, trying to figure out the best way to explain this because it's such a simple concept. But at the same time, it's difficult to explain, and it's the type of thing you absolutely need to understand. So I'll go through this slowly, and if you want me to stop and re-explain anything, then I'll gladly do that. But it's super, super important you guys get this because everything else in your advertising is based on understanding this concept. So figuring out your KPIs. So first thing, we'll define what a KPI is. A KPI stands for a key performance indicator. Now what that is that's any kind of number in your business that you're going to track or measure to see how it's doing. So let's assume that you've got a small sales funnel built and you're trying to sell a product. And you get people to click on an ad in Facebook and they go to an opt-in page and then they go to purchase something. Well, each one of those action steps, so click, opt-in, purchase, each one of those steps in the funnel has a number associated to it so that you can track and improve your progress. That number is their KPI, a key performance indicator. An example of a key performance indicator would be something like your cost per click, how much it costs to get someone to click on your ad. Cost per lead, which is how much it costs to get someone to opt in, and then cost per action, how much it costs to get someone a sale, and then a little bit more elusive one to calculate is a lifetime customer value, how much your customers are worth the entire time they're with you. So have you guys heard of these numbers before? Have you heard of these acronyms before? Cost per click, CPC, cost per lead, cost per action. Okay, so you guys have heard of those. All right, excellent. So those numbers are supremely, supremely important. And the reason why you need to know this is because when you figure out the minimum cost per click, the minimum cost per lead, and the minimum cost per action numbers that you need before you start running your advertising, it sets a goalpost for you to aim at. So that means that if you know you have to get a minimum, and at the most you can spend as 10 cents per click to be profitable. Any ad that costs more than 10 cents per click, you cancel. Any ad that costs less than 10 cents, you scale. So we're going to go into that concept a lot more, but that's the idea behind this. So it helps you to know what ads are going to be profitable before you make a sale, because as an example, if half of your sales funnel is within KPI, hits all those numbers, but the second half isn't, you know at what point in the funnel the thing is broken. So you know what to fix. And again, I'm going to go over this. I've got at least 2 or 3 more slides explaining all the math and everything behind this too. But this isn't just an overview. So this gives you confidence in your advertising because anything below KPI gets canceled. If your ads are if your clicks are costing too much, well, all you have to do is cancel those clicks, cancel those ads. Anything above KPI gets scaled. So that means that if you can't spend more than 10 cents per click and your ads are costing you 6 cents per click, well, you want to scale the heck out of that bugger because it's going to make you money. And when you know this, it gives you a ton of confidence in your advertising and it helps you scale your ads and it helps you avoid losing money on bad ads. It makes advertising much, much easier to understand because the only thing that matters is money in, money out. You don't have to worry about relevancy score. You don't have to worry about conversion rate. You don't have to worry about audience size or frequency or any of that stuff. All those other numbers out there. The only thing that matters is how much did I spend compared to how much money I could potentially make from this. So it takes all the guesswork out of this and turns it into scientific advertising. So you guys follow me so far? Robert says, over what time period? 3 days a week. I'm assuming you're talking about the lifetime customer value. Ideally, it would be a true lifetime customer value, so an actual lifetime value. But even something as short as 30 days is an incredibly useful number to know. So Pav's saying, how do you figure this out with your business? Well, excellent question. That's the next slide that I have. All right, so going back to this analogy, well, there are 3 main events that you want somebody to take in your funnel. You want somebody to click, you want somebody to opt in, and then you want to make a sale. So in this example, we're going to say we want to make 1 sale. and we want to make one $50 sale. And in this example, we'll say that we don't want to spend more than $25. So we want to double our money, right? If we want to double our money, we can't spend more than $25 to get a sale. You guys with me so far on that? Yes, okay, cool. So if you can't spend more than $25 to get a sale, and we know that an average website conversion rate is, say, about 2%. And again, these are rough numbers, and I'm doing this just to explain the concept. It's going to be different in your market, but the important thing is to figure out at least some kind of baseline that we can work from. So we're going to say that an average conversion rate to a sales page is 2%. So if that means the average conversion rate is 2%, and we want one sale, that means that we need to get 50 opt-ins, right? You guys follow me with that? If at any point this doesn't make sense, go ahead, let me know, and I'll gladly re-explain it. So what we're doing here is we're working our way back through the funnel. So that means that if we need to get 50 opt-ins, 50 people there, to get to this page here to make one sale, and we don't want to spend more than $25, 50 opt-ins divided, or $25 divided by 50 opt-ins is 50 cents. Now 50 cents is your cost per lead. Patricia says, what is CPA again? CPA stands for cost per action. In this case, the action is them purchasing the product. So at the beginning of the presentation, I was explaining what CPA was, and I had a little asterisk beside it. CPA can actually be a number of things. It stands for cost per action. Different advertisers use it for different terms. If your primary action is getting someone to opt in, then that's what the CPA is. But for sake of argument here, our CPA is going to be a sale. Okay. Oh, hey, Sherry, how you doing? Glad to see you here. So Sue is saying CPA is cost to acquire one customer through advertising. Exactly. So if we wanted to make a $50 sale and we wanted to double our money, assuming that there aren't any other costs. I know my e-commerce people here have to factor in cost of goods sold. And yes, it's going to make your calculations a little bit more complicated. But if you're calculating cost of goods sold already, you guys can manage this. All right. So going back here, $25, we can't spend more than $25 to get our $50 sale, which means that we have to get a cost per lead of 50 cents, right? $25 divided by 50 opt-ins, or 50 opt-ins divided by $25 is math that I did earlier on the call that now makes less sense, but it makes sense on paper. Anyway, 50 cents cost per lead. Now, we're going to go out on a limb and assume that an average opt-in page gets a 25% opt-in. You know, usually it's between 20 and 30%, but just to make the math easy, 25%. Now, if that's a 25% opt-in and we need to get 50 opt-ins from this, how many clicks do we need? How many people do we get to this page? We need 200 clicks to get to the page. So 200 clicks divided by 4, right, is 50 opt-ins. So then we take the 200 clicks, so the $25, right, and we divide it by 200, and that gives us 12 cents, 12.5 cents, so 13 cents. And that's your cost per click. So what this tells us then is that in order to make our advertising profitable, in order to guarantee that we're going to double our money, we have to make sure our clicks are less than 12 cents, we have to make sure that our cost per lead is less than 50 cents, and we have to make sure that more or less our numbers, our opt-in rate is at 25%, and that our sales rate is at 2%. Now, the wonderful thing about this is that if you're running your advertising, and this is one of the biggest frustrations I see with people, is that they'll start their campaigns and odds are, like I said earlier, your ads aren't going to convert right away. You're not going to make money on your first campaign, but you might make opt-ins. In fact, your odds are you're going to get clicks, and odds are you're going to get opt-ins. But you might not have enough traffic to go through to make sales. But that doesn't mean the campaign is bad. It doesn't mean just because you haven't made sales right away that you should stop your ads. What this does, knowing this does, is it tells you, okay, my cost per click is less than 12 cents. I'm A-okay there. I'm fantastic. I don't need to touch that. My cost per lead is less than 50 cents. Maybe I'm paying 40 cents per lead. But my cost per sale is at $40 right now. Okay, so that means my conversion rate is too low and I need to test that. Or maybe your cost per click is at 12 cents, but you're not getting enough opt-ins. Well, then you know that you need to work on the opt-ins. So by knowing your numbers at each step of the funnel, even if they're just rough estimates, it gives you an idea of what numbers you need to hit in order to double your money in this case. And there are going to be circumstances where, this might be 1% and this might be 40%. And that's okay. That's completely fine. And you'll adjust these numbers as you go. The important thing is that the dollar amounts at the end of the day work out. So does that make sense, guys? Pav's saying, so are the growing pains figuring out the numbers? Absolutely, yes. And that's why we're spending $5 to $10 a day, because we want to figure out which ads are not getting the 12-cent click. We want to figure out which ads are costing us too much to get opt-ins. And then when you cut out all the stuff that's not working, you turn up the ads that are working, and then everything clicks and everything works properly. Okay, so this made sense to you guys, because I spent a ridiculous amount of time today trying to figure out how I could explain this easily. Okay, thank God. I explained this to my wife earlier, and her eyes glossed over. And she's a marketer. She advertises. So I'm really, really glad that this stuff makes sense, because after this making sense, everything else is a whole lot easier. So this gives you a tremendous edge, because you can track the cost of these actions in Facebook. You can actually set up reporting that shows you this ad is costing too much per click, it's costing too much per opt-in, it's costing too much per sale. And then you can automatically scale, or you can automatically turn those off. So once you understand these numbers, everything is much easier. It makes it very clear which ads you need to kill, which ads you need to scale, and it tells you which parts of your funnel are broken and need to be fixed. It helps you buy more traffic to your page, because you know which parts of your funnel you can optimize, and there are far fewer numbers to monitor, and it gives you a really, really great way to track things and get rid of that advertising anxiety, because you're able to see progress every single day. It's no longer blindly swinging in the dark to hope you hit something. This turns advertising from guesswork into a science. Pat, my wife's eyes are glossy, no worries. All right. Well, then she's not alone. She'd get along well with my wife. So what if you don't know where your KPI numbers should be? And that's okay, because a lot of people, you're getting into this advertising stuff for the first time. The easiest way is to work backwards from doubling your money. And even if you've just got a rough baseline, using average to low numbers, it's better to have that than nothing at all, because it gives you a goal to strive towards. And then you can compensate for this later. You can adjust things. Maybe if your cost per click is too high, but your conversion rate is higher than average. So as long as the actual dollar figures, the absolute numbers, not the vanity stats, so not the conversion rate, but the absolute dollars and cents line up at the end of the day or the week, then you're completely okay. So how to apply this? Well, you find the numbers at each step of your funnel, and anytime they're not within KPI, you need to fix this by split testing new and better variations. So your challenge is to keep improving each section of your funnel until all parts of your funnel are within KPI, and then you're guaranteed to double your money. And as I keep saying, this sets a goalpost for you to aim for, and it removes arbitrary improvement. All right, so now that we've got that stuff out of the way, that I promise you is the most complicated part of this entire presentation. Everything else is relatively simple. So we're over the hump, guys. Even though that was the first part of this seven-step system, it took probably about a third, at least, of the amount of time to explain that. So figuring out who you're advertising to. It's really important to come up with a customer avatar, and your customer avatar is your mental image of who your ideal customer is. And that includes everything from age, gender, interest, their average day, their home life, their work life, what keeps them up at night, stressing them, what's motivating them to get your product, what's holding them back from getting it. In a nutshell, empathy wins sales. If you can see the world from your customer's perspective, you can write ads that appeal to them. You're able to get inside their head, walk a mile in their shoes, so to speak, and the whole writing process gets a lot easier. So in order to do this, go and spend time on forums, go and spend time reading reviews of products on Amazon to see what people liked and what they didn't like. Spend as much time immersing yourself in that culture as you possibly can if you're already not a part of it. If you are a part of it, this whole advertising stuff gets way easier in a moment. So Facebook interest targeting. We're going to prepare all our targeting ahead of time, And we're going to work on 3 different interest group types. So we're going to have a control interest group, and the control group is basically our starting line. So this is the group that we're going to start out with just to kind of test the waters and see how things are going. Then we're going to create 10 to 20 very targeted interest groups. And then we're going to create KPI control interest groups. So what that means, those KPI control groups, is that whenever you've got an ad and it's targeting, say we're going to be targeting XYZ company and we're selling widgets. Well, whenever I target XYZ company, it's costing me less than my KPI to get a click. And this is just a hypothetical scenario. So anytime I find something that's converting within KPI for that action I'm trying to get it to convert for, whether it's a click or an opt-in or a sale, I'll create a special group of people, a special targeting group, just for those interests that are converting within KPI. And I'll go on to explain that in more detail in a moment, but you'll see what I mean when we actually do the over-the-shoulder stuff in 2 slides from now. But the rule of thumb with this stuff is that if you're not actively involved in the market, if you're not selling into it already, if you're not passionately a member of it, doing the stuff that your customers are doing, and you recognize the brand that you're trying to target, it's too broad. The best example that I can give for this, a lot of you guys know I have a guitar store. I've been selling guitar stuff for years now. A lot of you have probably heard of the Gibson guitar brand or the Fender guitar brand. And even though lots and lots of guitar players like those brands, there are a lot of other people that aren't guitar players that like them as well. So that means that if I was advertising to just the Gibson guitar brand, I'm advertising to guitar lovers and people that just saw a Gibson ad and thought it was cute. Or just like the Gibson brand because they have a cool bar stool with the name Gibson on it that aren't actually guitar players. Whereas if I was targeting something like a specific pedal brand or a guitar string brand that only guitar players would know about, I can be 100% certain that people outside of that community aren't going to be liking those pages and liking those interests. So we'll get into that again in more detail. We're going to do a little bit of demo right now. But, okay, so let's see. I'm going to close this and I'm going to open the questions a little bit more because we got questions coming in. Say you have a major competitor. Does Facebook have a way that you can copy their targeting? No, but there is a way you can copy their ads. There's a really neat tool that I'll share with you in a moment here that we can do that with. All right, so Facebook interest targeting. So here's what we do. And we're going to be using a tool called Adespresso because I use Adespresso. It's $49 a month, but it has a ton of automation features that make your advertising a lot easier, a lot more profitable, and take a lot of the stress away. They give you a lot of really great reporting. So I'm just going to log in here to my Facebook Business Manager because the first part of this actually is not using Adespresso. So let's see here. I'll just go into this account here. And we want to look at audience interests. I think it's audience insights. Facebook always changes this stuff around. See, they even had a notice that just popped up that says some metrics are changing. Lovely. So that's one of the main reasons why I like using Adespresso is that their interface changes at much more consistent and reliable intervals. But here's how you find your control targeting. So say you're starting in a brand new market, you've never worked in it before, you have no idea what it is, and you want to start targeting these people. Well, the easiest thing to do is to figure out what the heck your immediate competitors are targeting, or what your immediate competitors. And actually, Sue says, is there a way to figure out what your competitors are targeting? Yes. You know what? I didn't think of it this way, but there absolutely is, and we're about to do it. So, how appropriate. Okay, so you go to the Audience Insights tool inside Facebook, and you can do this in your personal Facebook Manager or your Business Manager. But you type in the United States or whatever country it is you're targeting, and you type in your main competitor here under Interests. So my main competitor, we'll just say, for sake of argument, we'll type in Frank Kern because he's easy to find, not Frank Sinatra. Although I am a musician, so... anyway, so we've got Frank Kern here. So let's say my top 3 competitors would be Frank Kern, Amy Porterfield, And can anyone else name another big person in the online marketing space? Maybe Brendan Burchard or Russell Brunson. So these guys all sell. I mean, we all sell to the same customers. We all deal with small business owners, all that great stuff. So you want to think of your 3 biggest competitors, and what you do is you start out with one of them, and you type in their interest, right? So Frank Kern here, and then you go to page likes, and you see what pages they like. So here we've got as some of the interests. We've got Russell Brunson. We've got Gary Vaynerchuk. We've got Digital Marketer. And let's see, we've got Success Magazine. We've got Business Insider. So what you do is you keep going through like this, and you look at the page likes, and you see the affinity scores, and all the ones. So there's Grant Cardone, anything that's immediately related to your market. So if I'm selling stuff specifically to small business owners, I might want to skip Jim Rohn. I might want to skip Tony Robbins, because Tony Robbins helps people with relationships. He helps people with money. He helps people with lots of weight loss. Lots and lots and lots of different markets. So there are lots of people that like Tony Robbins that are business owners and that are my customers, that are my ideal customers. But there are also lots of other people that like Tony Robbins that aren't. Going back to that guitar example earlier, it's the exact same situation. But whereas with people like Frank Kern and Gary Vaynerchuk and Russell Brunson, odds are you're not going to know who Russell Brunson is unless you've actively been involved in this market, unless you've already been indoctrinated into the online business and marketing world, right? So what we do is we try to find as many of these as possible. Typically, you're looking at about 20 or 30, and you make a list of them. So you make a list of about 20 or 30 of these for Frank Kern. And then you go and you take, let's see, we'll take Amy Porterfield and we'll put hers in next. So Amy Porterfield, there we go. And you look at the page likes in the top categories for Amy Porterfield, because she's the next competitor that I have. So now we look for similarities. Well, look, there's Digital Marketer again. That was under Frank Kern. So that means that people that like Frank Kern and people that like Amy Porterfield also like Digital Marketer. So that would be another good one to put down there. So Digital Marketer is there. And let's see if we've got Success Magazine. No, we don't see Success, but I see some other names I recognize. So we've got Mary Forleo. We've got Derek Halpern. And you know what's interesting is that, and here's a perfect example. Up until about a month and a half ago, I had no idea who Derek Halpern was. I saw his name repeated many, many times doing this exact process. I've been running my ads for one of the marketing programs that I've had now for about a month and a half. I had no idea who he was. Like I said, he is my best performing ad to date, and he's got a ridiculously high return on investment. And the way I found him that targeting was by doing this exact exercise that I'm showing you right now. So then after we go through that, we go and we look at as many of these as possible, and anything that's immediately related to our market. You see there's Frank Kern again, there's lead pages, there's Mary Smith, so maybe we'll type in lead pages. And you can see that these are going across a variety of different interests. We've got software here, we've got authors, we've got magazines, we've got websites. So I'm not necessarily looking at the type of interest it is, more than I'm mostly looking at it from a perspective of people that like X, Y, and Z also like these people as well. So I'll go through my top 3 competitors. So I've got Amy Porterfield. The next one will be, say, I'll type in Russell Brunson and see what comes up. Aw, poor Russell. Doesn't look like he's popular enough. Okay, so you can't target everyone, unfortunately. So let's try Brendan Burchard. Or Bouchard. No? Alright, so that one won't work. So let's take a look at our list here. Maybe I know I can target Gary Vaynerchuk because I've done it before. There we go, Gary Vaynerchuk. And we can look through here and we can see, okay, Tim Ferriss, that's another good one now. So we'll put Tim Ferriss down. And you keep going through here until you see terms that you recognize that are repeated often. Success Magazine, Darren Hardy, another one. Brian Tracy, even though he might not be the best one to target, he's repeated here. You go through and you create a list of anywhere between 20 and 30 interests that are repeating themselves across multiple competitors. So does that make sense, guys? Pat Flynn's another one that we could target. Absolutely, yeah. So if you've never advertised to your market before, that's the easiest way to go about finding a test market that you can run your ads to. Okay, so that helps. So I'm glad that works. So the next thing is we're going to go back to our ad espresso here. Whenever you're doing your advertising, we want to group our interests together. So that means that we've got our control test right now, and that's kind of a good way to start. But if you want to get really targeted and you want to start splitting things down, the easiest way to do it is to break things down into categories. So you've got your magazines, you've got your books, you've got your authors, you've got your Chamber of Commerces, you've got your local fan clubs, you've got your societies, conventions, whatever it might be, brands, of course, right? Whatever those interest groups are, you want to make sure that all your magazines are under one magazine group. All your authors are under one author group. All your books are under one books group. And the reason why you do that is when you run your ads, you find out that, okay, magazines works better than books. Authors works better than tools, and so on. So it makes it a lot easier to test your ads quickly. So the way that we find this targeting, and this is one of my absolute favorite tools, Ad Espresso, $50 a month. No, I mean, I am an affiliate for them, but it's just a great, great tool. So we'll call this Facebook Demo Campaign 1. Actually, you know what? I don't even need to do this. They've changed things around. So we can go over to the Asset Manager here. And we can create our targeting right there. Actually, you know what? No, I'll do it here. I'll show you. So here's an example of how the targeting breaks down. You can see here I've got my control KPIs. We'll get to that stuff in a second here. There we go. So the top 30, that's the exact exercise that I just went through, and I'll show you that. So those are the top 30. See Derek Halpern, the one I mentioned, Frank Kern, Ryan Dice, Mary Smith, Ali Brown, Darren Hardy, HubSpot, Gary Vaynerchuk. So these are all the people that kept repeating. Their names kept repeating as I was going through that searching process. So the next thing is we want to find things like magazines, tools, authors, copywriters. So in this case, we're going to go to tools because I know it's a giant audience. So these SMB tools, small and medium business tools. So what's so great about this, and I'm actually, you know what, I am going to create a new test campaign because I'm running with these ads live right now, or I just stopped them, but I'm using these interests, so I don't want to mess with them. But okay, so demo interest. So we'll target United States, because this part really isn't important right now. We'll cover this in a second. So 25 to 30, that's not important. But here when we come down to interest, you type in, say we wanted to target magazines. Well, go ahead and list off some small business magazines, guys. We've got Entrepreneur Magazine, right? If I could spell it, Entrepreneur Magazine, all right. So what else do we have? Fast Company, excellent. So you can see here, one of the reasons why I love Ad Espresso is if you're in the Facebook Ads Manager, I can't recall, it's been so long since I've used it, I don't know if it pulls this stuff up, but it'll actually suggest other small business magazines that it thinks you might like. So we've got Inc. Magazine, Fast Business, Fortune 500. Well, look at that. Fortune Magazine, Inc. Magazine, there's Fast Company, there's Small Business, there is... and something like Money Magazine, even though your audience might be in there, you don't necessarily want to target Money Magazine because it's going to have people liking it that aren't business owners, if you were trying to target business owners. But that's how you would go about finding the interest for each specific group. And if you wanted to do this with SMB tools, you could do the same thing with tools. We'll type in, you think of one tool off the top of your head. One big online business or marketing tool. The biggest one that I can think of that comes to mind is Infusionsoft, otherwise known as Confusionsoft. That's good. Let's see if ClickFunnels is in here. I haven't done that one. Nope, no ClickFunnels. So we'll go with it because I know Infusionsoft is in here. They've been around forever. They are a dinosaur. But you see, you type in Infusionsoft and then boom, right away. Aweber, HubSpot. Now, in this case, MailChimp, GetResponse, look what's happening. Constant Contact, iContact. What do all these have in common? They're all email autoresponders. Could you guys hear me? Yeah, autoresponders. Exactly, guys. Email marketing. So this tool is smart enough to know the types of things to recommend. So Unbounce. And then it even makes recommendations for, I just saw it a second ago. There we go. Autoresponder. So that's the generic. But this is a perfect example of the type of targeting you want to do. It's nice and specific. It's only 140,000 people. Now that isn't so important, the 140,000 people. What's important is that the people that we're targeting with these, people we can be very, very confident are interested in internet marketing and online marketing. I mean, unless you're intimately involved in this space, you wouldn't know what MailChimp was. You wouldn't know what Unbounce was, or Constant Contact, or iContact. Whereas something like autorespond, you see we have 140,000 people here, and that's across 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 interests. So that's 20,000 people interest, or 20,000 people per interest, right? We can clear this away, and we can add autoresponder in there. Oh, interesting. Okay, it came up to 500. It looked like it was a lot more than that, but the idea behind this is that you don't want to go with the generic terms. You want to go with terms as specific as possible to your market, and you want to break them down by interest types. So you've got like magazines, you've got books, authors. So Gary Vaynerchuk would be an author. Chet Holmes would be an author. John Caples. Maybe if we were doing copywriters, you'd list famous copywriters. But the idea is that you want to have 10 to 20 of these targeting groups, these specific groups of people, just like in here, right? So that if you run an ad and your ad does really, really well to small, medium books, you can clone the ad, say, target small, medium business magazines and small and medium business authors, and you're able to roll forward like that much, much faster. So it's really important to get this stuff done ahead of time. And then finally, the third type of control interest I wanted to talk about, I briefly mentioned it, but it's your KPI interest, your control KPI interest. So what that means is that, let's say I'm running an ad here, and we'll just go and look at a campaign, a rough campaign. See all campaigns. I don't know. I've got a ton of accounts going right now, so let's see what's running. Let's just go with this for now. So here's what's so great is that you're able to look at these and see the age ranges and see which interests as well, converting within KPI. So as you can see here, see, that's not a good one. It's not a good one to look at. Where's one that we have lots of clicks on? Because the more data you have to play with, the more useful it is. So you know what? Oh shoot, the software's not fast enough right now. But okay, so I'll explain this as I'm going. You set up your metrics ahead of time, so you know what you need to hit for your KPIs, right? So if you need to have a click that costs you less than 25 cents, well, there are going to be certain targeting groups, certain interests within your, so you're targeting magazines, right? And in those magazines, you've got Success Magazine, you've got Inc. Magazine, you've got Fast Company. Well, one of those, out of those three, is probably going to perform much better than the other ones. One of them will probably be within KPI, and the other two might not be. So you can see here, Xero, which is accounting software, is getting a 14% click-through rate. Now, let's say that because of my KPI numbers, I know that I need to get a 2% click-through rate. Well, that means that anything above 2% here is converting within KPI, and these are all targeting interest groups that I should put inside my my targeting group. So does that make sense, guys? I was a little bit wordy there. But if it makes sense, I can continue because we still have lots of stuff to cover. But basically, you're looking for any interest groups that are converting within the KPI that you want them to convert. So if you say, I want my ads to click through at 2%, anything that's 2% or above, you would put into that special custom audience group. And Rob's saying, can Ad Espresso tell you which interests are converting? Yes, absolutely, yes. So you put them inside that audience group. Okay. The final thing I wanted to share with you is the eMarquee Facebook tool. And by the way, we're building on this. I'm going to show you the entire process from start to finish, but you need to understand how to find the targeting first. So go ahead and if you Google eMarquee Facebook tool, this is a really great tool that if we type in, say, guitar, right, just as an example, it'll show you all the musical instrument band. I can't speak. Musical instrument brands, communities, magazine types of Guitar World, Guitar Techniques, Guitar Player magazine, and you can select all of those, and then copy and paste those into your audience creator thingamabobber here. That's the highly technical term for it. But anyway, eMarquee is really, really great tool. It's completely free to use. So eMarquee Facebook tool, and it'll save you a whole bunch of time from just having to randomly search for stuff. Okay, so that was our fun little demo there. Now I want to talk a little bit about choosing the absolute best possible offer for your advertising. So let me just readjust things here. I'm going to go full screen again. Take another sip of water. And we'll keep things moving forward. And I can still see the comments and the questions coming in, so if things aren't working, go ahead, let me know. So choosing the best possible offer type. So there are 3 types of traffic. And this is actually an analogy I'm borrowing from Russell Brunson, so giving credit where credit is due. 3 types of traffic. Traffic you control, which is, traffic you don't control, which is stuff like SEO, social media, and viral content where you really can't control how much of it you're sending to your page at any one given point in time. Then there's traffic you do control, which is paid advertising, influencer marketing, and affiliate marketing. So I could go and I could turn my ads on and tell Facebook, I'm going to send you $50. I want you to send me these clicks. Same thing with influencer marketing and affiliate marketing. You have some control over it, but it's not traffic you own. And the third is traffic you own. And that's any email marketing, direct marketing, telemarketing, basically a house list of customers and leads. Now, the goal of all this advertising stuff, everything that you're going to be doing, is to take traffic that you don't control and traffic that you do control and turn it into traffic that you own. And we do that with the path of least resistance. So not every promotion type works for every business. Whenever possible, aim to capture leads before getting a sale, because traffic is very, very expensive and you want to own as much of it as possible. If you have the option to send 100 people to a page and have only 2 of them take an action, so you end up with 2 people on your house list, versus have 30 of them or 40 of them take an action, you want the 30 or 40. Even if that means you don't get a sale right away, because those people that opt in, you can continue to advertise to indefinitely. So as you're going through this, the bigger the offer that you make, the easier it is to get a response. So what that means is that, and I think I actually am going to be using this as an analogy later, so if I do, I'll just reference back to our little chat right now. But imagine this. So the offer needs, whatever it is you're selling, whatever it is you're putting in your ads, needs to be the best, biggest, hairiest deal that you could ever possibly put together. Okay, so here's what I like to use as an analogy. Imagine, I like this one because I'm a musician and I love music and I love going to see bands. But imagine your favorite band is coming to town. This is the band that you grew up watching and they're doing a once-in-a-lifetime reunion tour. For me, it would probably be like Led Zeppelin or something like that. Led Zeppelin is coming back to town and they're doing a tour and it's a one night only, and you heard about it from a friend of yours like yesterday, and then when you went to go see tickets, oh my God, they're sold out. There's 2 tickets left and they're like $4,000 each, and there's no way that you're going to spend it, but man, you would kill to go to that concert. You would love to do it. You're so excited to see it. You can't wait. And you're browsing on Kijiji or Craigslist. Kijiji is Canadians' Craigslist, so there we go. That's placing me in the world. So you're browsing on Craigslist and you see an ad pop up or a little post, and it's some guy who says, oh, I got tickets to Led Zeppelin, but my kid is sick and I gotta stay home, and for the first person who calls me, I'll sell her the tickets for what I paid for them face value. They're only $100 each. I got a really good deal. You would trip over the couch. You would push people out of the way to get to that deal. Like, you would floor it home to call and make sure that you would do anything within your power because you want it that bad. That's the type of offer you need to put on the web in order to get a response from Facebook. Now, the smaller the expense, the easier it is to get a response. So that means that if you're trying to sell a $5,000 life insurance policy, odds are you're not going to sell that directly from a Facebook ad. Now, you might convince that person to enter their name and email address to book an appointment with you to sell that service, but the ad won't do that directly. So the smaller the expense, the smaller the barrier of entry, the easier it is for your customer to take action on whatever it is you want them to do, the more likely they are to do it for you. So keep that in mind. They're more likely they are to do that. So keep that in mind as you're putting together your ads. The lowest barrier to entry possible, because you want to capture as many leads as you possibly can. Oh, that's funny. I didn't even see that on the screen next, but there we go. There's the example, $5,000 life insurance policy. Here's another one. A lead may not be willing to spend $97 to buy your product right now by clicking on an ad because they don't know you from a hole in the wall. You haven't built up that trust yet, but they may enter their name and email address to get a discount or to learn more about it. Finally, here we go. So there we go. An offer you can't refuse. Use the best quality traffic that you can afford. Facebook paid traffic, get as targeted, get as expensive as possible with the traffic because you want to test your offer with the best quality traffic before you move on to the crap stuff that's cheap, right? Use the strongest, best offer you could possibly think of. And then, so there you go. That's me referencing back to the slide before. Imagine a concert coming to town that you can't wait to see, and then all of a sudden the tickets pop up on Craigslist, and you have to, call in right now to get them. So that's the kind of motivation that you want to have. And then finally, scarcity behind it. Give people a reason to act now. Because if somebody can put something off till tomorrow, somebody can put something on, doing something today to tomorrow, they will. So make sure that they take action now, because odds are if they don't, they won't take action in the future. You won't have another opportunity. So you use limited quantities, use special sales, use bonuses. Always back up your scarcity though with real, plausible reasons why somebody needs to take an action now. There's a limited number of units available. There's only so many hours in a day. This is our spring sale and we're only doing this once a season. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. I mean, it could be I'm giving 10 of these items away because it's my dog's birthday. It literally doesn't matter what the reason is as long as you have a reason and it's somewhat plausible. So when you say, there's limited scarcity behind this digital download, well, that's a little bit different, So you've got to actually back it up with the reason why. Otherwise, people will question the promotion and it won't work as well. So step 4, creating ads that stop people in their tracks. How are we doing so far, by the way, guys? Dave's saying Led Zepp was my first concert. Oh, David, I'm jealous. I'm so envious. You know what? I missed out on so many great concerts. I got to see Eric Clapton. I got to see a whole bunch of really great bands, but I missed B.B. King twice. And then the selfish bugger went off and passed away on me before I got the chance to see him. So I'm envious of you. My first concert was the Beach Boys. Alice Cooper was my first. You know what? We're going to have to do a webinar just on our favorite concerts here. Sue's saying good stuff, but I'll have to go over it again. Well, you know what? Everything is being recorded, so you definitely can do that. Step 4, creating ads that stop people in their tracks. This is a formula. This is a wonderful, very simple, super easy to apply formula that works on every single ad you could ever possibly imagine. And I know that's a ridiculously huge claim, but you'll see why in a second. So, on the right is just one of many ads that I have that's using this template. But, we use that as an example for now because I love doing stuff in the guitar space. Step 1, call attention to who the ad is for. See here? Play guitar. So, calling attention to anyone who plays guitar. Step 2, write your big, incredible, amazing offer just for that person. So, play guitar, get this free iLink guitar adapter. These things were selling for $30 in the store when I was running this ad. This was a killer deal. Just pay shipping and handling, click here to get yours now, and then you put the URL. So, step 3, tell them what to do next. Click here to get yours now. Step 4, tell them to tag a friend that would like it. And that one little line, tag a friend that likes this, has got me so much free traffic, I can't even count it. Literally, probably over 100,000 free visitors to my pages just by having that one sentence, because when you've got a campaign or when you've got a promotion, and it has a very high appeal rate to that audience. People share it with their friends. For your headline, repeat the main offer. So free iLink guitar adapter, limited time only. There's that scarcity there. Sub-headline, click the Learn More button to get yours now. Learn more. So that's pretty much that here. You can't see it because this is just a demo ad, but you'll see it on the next pages. And then this is an example ad made with Ad Espresso. Again, plug, plug, plug. Not because I make any great sum of money from you going to the page and buying it. In fact, I won't make any money if you go there now and buy it. It's just a really, 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 really great tool. Okay, so the first set of ads that shows you how diverse this template is. Play guitar. Get these free wood design guitar picks. Just pay shipping and handling. Click here. Let's see. Love owls. Get this free 18-karat rose gold plated pendant. Love Pandora. Troll beads or camellia. Get these Murano glass charm beads 100% free. So don't want to do physical products? Don't want to do the guitar market? Cool with me. Ottawa brides. Get 25% off professional teeth whitening at Ottawa's top dentist. Offer expires March 24th. This is an ad I'm running literally right now. Reserve your spot here. How about this? Austin business owners, if you're a consultant. Attend our free small business marketing webinar. Learn the 7-step marketing formula that's guaranteed to get you sales this week. Does that sound familiar, guys? That could potentially be the webinar you're on. Or a small variation of it anyway. How about this? T-shirts. Are you a preschool teacher? Get this limited edition I Teach Preschool because it's more fun than glitter. Because glitter's more fun than calculus T-shirt. Not in stores. Get yours here. Tag a preschool teacher. The exact same format. Oh, audio's back. That's okay. I gotcha. We're here. We're all back. You know, at least the audio's dropping out at convenient times. It's not like, you know, super specific, highly important data time or anything like that. So I'm glad that it worked. Oh, hey, Judy. I don't think I saw you here earlier. So glad to have you here. Okay, so as you guys can see, do you see the template in all of this? Does this make sense? You can see how it's call attention to who you want to advertise to. Make your big, hairy claim. Give a little bit of scarcity if you've got it. Tell people what to do next. Tell people to tag their friends. Andrew's saying, and you should just tell people to wait for your affiliate link. I should, tell people. Honestly, Andrew, it's really that good of a program that I don't care whether people sign up under my affiliate link or not. It's mainly because this makes your life much, 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 much easier. You're able to save these templates. And whenever you want to create a new ad, you go click, copy template, fill in the blank, pick your audience, click go. And that's actually the process we'll go through. Funny enough, you have awesome timing tonight. Step 5, the ad campaign process. So none of this on the screen makes any sense whatsoever right now, and that's completely cool. I get that, because we're going to walk through this process in a moment, but we're going to target newsfeed and mobile ads. We're going to do 2 images. One, you know what? I'm not even going to bother explaining this because it's not going to make any sense right now anyway. So let's just hop into our little advertising experiment. Okay, so what's Austin saying here? Now that we're back full screen. One sec, Austin. I'm just resizing stuff. So do you use the term tag rather than share for a reason? Kind of. I have put a little bit of thought into that before. I use tag because it gets people to tag their friends in the post rather than sharing the ad. I mean, it's not something I've actually tested, and that would be a very interesting test. I think it would have to be more of a long-term test, but no, I mean, if you wanted to run it, go ahead and try the share thing. One thing I have tried with a lot of this stuff is instead of buy now or click here, learn more. See, learn more tends to work very, very well. There's sign up there. That was for a webinar though. But learn more has the highest click-through rate of everything that I've personally tested. Okay, so let me go back into our Ad Espresso tool, and we'll start from the beginning, and I'll show you the exact process, everything that I run through, and how I set all this stuff up. So this is the over-the-shoulder stuff. So let's do it in the guitar space because I know that market incredibly well, and it's a relatively diverse market, and more than likely you guys probably are familiar with it, so it's a good kind of a baseline for us to work from. So we'll call this Guitar Test 1. And we're going to advertise to our external website. By the way, This is the same process in the Facebook Ad Manager. It just looks a little bit different. It's a little bit of a different layout, maybe a different order. Either way, the information is the same. So even though I'm using Ad Espresso, everything here can be applied towards the Facebook Ad Manager as well. So you don't need to spend the $49. That being said, if you're going to spend more than $50 a month on ads, it's worth spending the $50 a month in Ad Espresso because it tells you which ads are more profitable. And at this point, you understand the benefit of knowing which ads are profitable and converting within KPI and which ones aren't. So I don't need to extol the virtues of Ad Espresso on you. You guys understand why it's beneficial now. So here we go. So we'll pick our page, and in this case, it's Axe Junction. So our headline for this campaign, we're going to be giving away just because it's one I've brought in over 10,000 customers doing this campaign. So free wood design guitar picks. So that's the headline. So that's the big call to action. So then the ad text is play guitar, get these free wood design guitar picks today. Just click here to reserve yours now. That's good. Click here to reserve yours now. And what I'll usually do, if you're going to be sending somebody to a big long page, like say I've got my Axe Junction store here, my e-commerce store, and I'm giving, this is the offer. I don't want to send people to this big ugly link. That sucks, right? I mean, that looks ugly in your ads. So what I'll do is I'll go to Bitly, and I will paste the link in there, and it's now nice and tidy and pretty and much easier to work with. So click here to reserve yours now, and then I'll usually skip a line and then say, or I'll even put this on a new line, and then say, tag a friend that plays guitar. And that's pretty much it. So that's my ad copy. Then I'm going to grab my image. And as far as what images, you know what, I'll select from the gallery because we've already got a bunch. As far as what images convert the best, typically images, and this is what I was saying in the emails and the ad copy, typically images that have pictures of people's faces that are close up convert much, much better than anything else. So as an example, I ran a test between this ad and this ad here. And this ad, the one with the girl's face close up, beat the pants off this one. Now here's something interesting as well. The more that you zoom into someone's face, the more that you're able to get a close look at someone's eyes, the better they'll do, the better the campaign will do. So, funny enough, this campaign actually did much better than this one because it's closer up. Just like this one here did much better than this campaign. So whenever you've got the opportunity to put a person's face in an ad to demonstrate a product being used with a person, or anytime you can integrate a human into the ad that's relevant to what you're selling, you should. Because our brains are programmed to look at faces first, before anything else, before any text. So if you've got an ad that has a face in it, especially an attractive face, it's going to pull somebody's attention more than just the picture of a product. That being said, the product that we're selling right now is actually the guitar picks, and we can't do a picture of a face for that one. So I'm just going to quickly search through here and find, there we go. So free guitar picks. We've got different, and if you can't make it pretty, you can't add border around it because you're not a great designer or you don't have access to Photoshop or anything like that, then what you can do is just use a picture that looks like that. So what I usually do when I run my ads is I will pick two images. So I've got two images that I'm testing, image A and image B. So next bit here is for the URL. I'll just grab the URL of the page, and the display link here, don't ever worry about filling that out. Facebook's getting really finicky about that. I used to type, click the Learn Now button to get yours, and I'd use it as another place to put ad copy, but now they're forcing you to actually put a URL in, so just leave it blank for now. So link description, that is going to be your sub-headline, so click maybe limited quantities available for spring sale, limited quantities available, click learn more to get yours now. Something like that. Really, really simple. Oops. There we go, learn more. And that's our ad. So play guitar, get these free wood design guitar picks today, click here to reserve yours now, tag a friend that plays guitar. It could be getting married in. Are you a bride that lives in Toronto? Get your teeth whitened for 25% today at Ottawa's best dentist. Click here now to reserve your appointment. Tag your bridesmaids. It could be love to knit. Get this knitting info guide and learn these 10 stitch techniques that nobody else knows about. Tag your knitting friends. Doesn't matter what it is. Are you a small business owner? Learn the 7 steps that make Facebook advertising profitable. Click here to register now. Tag a business owner friend. It's the exact same ad every single time, and it works just as well every single time. Alex is saying, so you don't use Facebook Ad Manager? No, this is my ad manager, and this works better than anything else. This does everything the Facebook Ad Manager can do, and way, way more. So we're going to target people on their desktop and people on our mobile newsfeed. So we're just going to uncheck everything else for now. And you should, so when we were talking about KPIs earlier, when you're creating your funnels and creating your page, Facebook allows you to put your Facebook pixels on those pages. And it's a little bit beyond the extent of what we have time to cover on this call. There's lots of instructions out on how to do that. But once you set those up, you've got your KPI information, right? So somebody clicks, somebody opts in, and somebody completes a purchase. So in that case, our KPIs would be view content, right? So they're viewing the page, which would be them clicking on the ad, or it could be them completing a registration, which is them opting in, entering their name and their email address, or it could be a purchase. So the complete registration or lead could be, different wording for the same thing depending on how you want to set up your funnel. It doesn't matter. But the idea behind this is that you pick whatever it is that you want to optimize on. So say if you want to optimize on your leads, on your opt-ins, you wanted to make sure that you can get people for less than 50 cents, then you pick lead here and you click progress, or whatever that word was, proceed. Okay, so remember earlier on we already created our audiences, right? Well, the reason why we did that is because now all we have to do is click load audience, click browse, click Axe Junction, and we find our audience group that we want to target. So I've got 21 here, and I know it just says AJ group, Axe Junction group. I've actually got an index that explains everything. And I did this before AdEspresso introduced that new feature that makes it easier to organize all your interests. So that's why it looks this way. But we'll just grab, say, group number 4 and click confirm. So then it automatically fills in all the details. And I've got United States. I split up my targeting here, 19 to 29, 30 to 39, 40 to 49, 50 to 59, 60 to 65 plus. So we've got 5 different age brackets there. The reason why we do that is because this software that we're using has the ability to automatically move funds between these age groups. So if you're running a campaign and all your conversions are coming from ages 30 to 49, then AdEspresso will redistribute your budget from these age groups, 60 to 65 and 50 to 59, and 19 to 29, and put them towards these two here. And it does this automatically without you intervening. So it can really save you a lot of money in that regard. So those are all your interests, and you can see here the interest in this case was all Gibson style guitars. So it's very, very specific, and the only person that's going to know what a Gibson ES-137 is or a Gibson ES-5 is a guitar player. So we'll proceed from there. We can talk a little bit about custom audiences, but I want to get to some other stuff first here. So what do we want to test? Well, we want to test our age ranges. And the reason why we want to test that is because it'll split out your audiences into those 5 different age groups, and like I said, redistribute your budget amongst the ones that are most profitable. So we set our budget. I like to do $20 a day for test campaigns, and the reason why I like to do $20 a day is because it breaks it up very evenly. You've got $4 per ad set. You could do 25 as well, but to keep budgets low. $4 per ad set is going to give you enough information across 3 days to know whether the campaigns are profitable or not. So then you click optimization, automatic optimization, proceed, and then publish to Facebook. That's pretty much it as far as running these ads. So it's a very, very, very streamlined process once you've got everything set up ahead of time. So that is the ad campaign process. It's newsfeed and mobile, 2 images, right, like you guys saw, 1 bit of ad copy, and your control interest groups. So when you're first running your ads, if you've never done them before, start out with doing that control interest group, that top 30 that we went into the Facebook Ad Manager. This stuff here, the Russell Brunson, the Gary Vaynerchuk, all of that, your top 30. So start out with that. If that works well for you, or even if it doesn't work, start moving on to the other brands, the other magazine interest groups, the brands, the authors, the experts, all of that stuff. $20 a day, $4 per day per ad set, and you optimize on the first KPI and work forward through your funnel. So what that means is that if you've got a funnel where you've got somebody, and I'm actually running this funnel right now as an example. I've got a funnel that's bringing people to an auto webinar and then bringing people to a strategy session and all of that. So the steps involved are click on ad, opt in, attend webinar, view call to action in the webinar, apply call to action, attend strategy session, and then make sale, like close sale. So there's like 7 steps. Now, if I optimized on the last step in the funnel, I'd have to run an obscene amount of traffic through before it would ever optimize, because it only optimizes every time there's a conversion. So you want to optimize your advertising on the first bit of your funnel. So you're opt-in, right? So that means that if you're optimizing on your opt-in first, you get that within KPI. You find out that maybe your KPI is 50 cents per lead. You optimize on that, you get it below 50 cents per lead, and then you work on the next step. And then you get that below your KPI. And then you work on the next step. And you move forward through the funnel, making sure that all your numbers are below KPI. And that way you're guaranteed to turn a profit at the absolute least amount of money spent optimizing ads. Also, run your ads. Please, 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 please do not touch your ads before 3 days, because Facebook takes that long to optimize and to kind of figure out what's working and what's not working. And if you touch them before 3 days, you're not only wasting money, but you're wasting your time too, because you're going to have to start over again. So Mike's saying, so $20 times 3 days equals 1 campaign. Typically, yeah, that's what I'll do. And depending on how comfortable you are with the budget, you could drop that down to $10 and test a couple of different campaigns. You could not do the age split and only do $5 and then do the age split after. But the most important thing is figuring out that targeting and getting it as tight as possible so that only people within your market understand what those, see your ads. So we did that demo. All right, here. Next up, when to kill and when to scale the ads. So this is my wonderful flowchart. I absolutely love this, and it makes this whole process a lot easier. So start at $10 a day or $20 a day. Then you wait your 3 days. So the thing that you do next is you ask yourself, is my ad profitable? And this really should be, is my ad within KPI, not is my ad profitable. But is my ad within KPI? Are my clicks good? Is my opt-in, working? Yes. Is this a test campaign? Yes. Fantastic. Clone it and test each new audience. So each new audience would be those 30 interests that you're getting. So is this ad profitable? Is this a test campaign? No. Then you increase the ad by 20% every day. So this is basically what you would go through every morning when you wake up. So you wake up, you got your coffee, you sit down at your computer, you look at the ads, you look at the data over the past 7 days. So over the past 7 days, has your ad been profitable? Yes. Is this a test campaign, which means it's only been running for 3 days. But is this a test campaign? Yes. Clone it. Run it to the other audiences, and then go through that process again. Is it a test campaign? No, which means it's already gone through this cloning process. It's already proven to work. Increase the ad by 20%. The reason why we do 20% is because it keeps it within Facebook's algorithm. If you scale too aggressively too fast, it throws off the numbers. Facebook has to recalculate. It's going to take another 3 days to get back to you being profitable again. So only increase by 20%, but do it every day. And when you increase by 20% every day, well, what's 20% times 5? You're doubling your ad budget every week. And when you're starting out and it's only $5 a day, that's not a lot of money. You go from $5 to $10. But when you're spending $100 a day and you go from $100 to $200, and you're seeing your ads bringing in a lot more money, doubling every day and creating new ads every day, this is actually a very aggressive way to scale, but it gives you complete control over everything you're doing too. So let's say the ad isn't profitable. Well, is the ad profitable? Is this a test campaign? Yes. So the ads run for 3 days. It's not working. We're not within KPI on any of them. Well, we go ahead and kill the ad then. Is this a test campaign? No. So that means the ad's been running for maybe a month or so, maybe a week, but you've kept scaling it every single day. And what can happen is as you scale these ads, they can scale out of KPI. So you can end up targeting an audience that is so large that it's not possible for your numbers to be within KPI. But it would be foolish of you to just kill the ad altogether because it's made you money as you scaled up. So there's a sweet spot with this advertising, and if it's a test campaign and it's not profitable, or it's not a test campaign and it's not profitable, but it has been, what you do is you start decreasing that by 20% every day until it gets to profitable again, and then you know that's the sweet spot. And then, of course, once you go through this a few times, you could start setting up retargeting ads, you could start setting up lookalike audiences. But this very simple process, start the ad, is it profitable? Wait 3 days, is it profitable? Yes, clone and scale. Is it not profitable? No, decrease your ads and kill the campaign. So this process makes everything a whole lot easier, and within the context of what we've talked about, it tells you exactly what you need to do next, because you're able to know, is this campaign profitable? Is it within KPI? Yes, no. Here's what you do next. So does this make sense, guys? Is this helping at all? By the way, I'll give you a link to download this at the end of the call. So Austin's saying, why would decreasing the ad by 20% make it more profitable? Because sometimes as you increase your budget, it increases your reach, which means that if you're targeting people and your budget is, you only want to spend $50 a day, Facebook's going to find the people that are most likely to convert, the highest conversion value it possibly can at that $50 a day. And say those people are your rabid fans, are the best possible customers, and that's 1,000 people. And that's who you can target with that $50. But if you expand your budget to $200, well, suddenly you're not just targeting those 1,000 people, you're targeting 5,000 people. And even though those 1,000 people, the initial 1,000, are your super customers, those extra 5,000 people aren't. And having those extra 5,000 people in there seeing your ad ends up increasing your cost per click and decreasing your revenue, decreasing your profit. Does that make sense? Excellent. Okay. Mike says, is there a number you recommend we set as a KPI when brand new starting out? It depends on your funnel and it depends on the products you're selling. So I've sold products ranging up to $10,000, and the KPI on that, if I want to double my money, is $5,000, which means that I can spend ridiculous amounts on traffic. Now, if you're only selling an item that's $20, you're obviously not going to be able to send 500 people to the page and be able to turn a profit from that and spend $3 a click or $5 a click. So it's going to be different for every funnel, which is why I recommend starting out with doubling your money. If you want to make a $25 sale, then you can only spend $12 and a half dollars on advertising. Whew, I need another coffee here. But yeah, so it's going to be different for every single business, which is why it's really important to understand the theory and the concept behind this and apply the numbers to your business individually. So the next step is how to increase your profit with A/B testing. So if the elements of your funnel are converting below KPI, you need to split test. Anything that's converting 50% or below KPI, ads that are converting 50% or below, change the image. Ads that are converting 50% 50% or above KPI, change the image. Anything 50% or below KPI, change the copy. Basically what I'm saying here is that if your ads are only kind of bad, it's probably the image that's the issue and the copy is okay because it's getting people that are interested. If the ads are just crap in the bed and they're not doing anything at all, odds are it's the angle that you're taking and the people that you're advertising to are just not interested in whatever it is you're offering. So you need to change the angle. Things to test: headlines, offer, price, guarantee, bullet points, subheadlines, in that order. The tools that you use to test: optimizely.com. And as a rule of thumb, only do A/B tests. Never do multivariate tests, because in order to get accurate data from multivariate testing, you need to have an exponentially greater amount of traffic. So A and B is much easier than AB versus AC versus DA and BC and every variation under the sun. So only do A and B. Okay, so let me just go back to full screen here. Actually, I'm going to resize things a sec. 1 minute here. I'm so glad that the audio hasn't been much of an issue on this call. There have only been a couple of points we've dropped out. Okay, so, you know what? We've got some questions coming in. I'll definitely, we're going to do a Q&A period at the end, but I just want to make sure we get through the content. We've got maybe another 20 more slides or so, and then we'll hop into all the Q&A stuff. So let me just resize this here quickly and go full screen. So, okay, how to make almost any ad profitable. And this is one of the really big claims that I was making for the webinar. And I think you guys kind of get an idea with how this is going to go now. But the objective in all advertising, like I mentioned earlier, it's to turn traffic you don't control and traffic you do control into traffic you own. So to make any ad profitable at any cost, even if it's a terrible, terrible, terrible ad, all you have to do is keep adding to your email follow-up sequence. So the more promotions that you add, the more content that you add to emails that go out to your leads and to your customers, the more sales you'll make. The best part with this is that you only pay to get a lead once, but you can sell to them forever, making it incredibly easy to turn a profit. So this Facebook advertising stuff definitely does work, but it's a small part of a much bigger picture. So Facebook ads are a start, but without a support system in place to make sure that they're profitable, Facebook advertising can be very, very difficult. You need to have a proper sales funnel in place. Your copywriting needs to be on point and your offers need to be excellent. And it doesn't matter how great your advertising is if your follow-up is bad. On the flip side, if your advertising is bad and your follow-up is great, it's almost impossible to not make money. So a good sales funnel is literally, without any exaggeration whatsoever, the difference between profitable ads and ads that lose money. That's it. That's the only difference. So people advertising, the guys who see advertising on Facebook right now, are not doing anything at all different with their advertising than what you would do. The only thing different that they're doing is they've got a follow-up system in place to make sure that those ads are profitable. So if you need help with this kind of thing, here's how I can help. If you need help with setting up your sales funnel, I've got something I think you might like. I just finished putting together a program earlier in the year that teaches advertising and marketing essentials to small business owners, to affiliate marketers, to e-commerce providers, to info product salesmen, to local mom and pop shops, that kind of thing. And these are the type of skills that can skyrocket your business, and they are perfect for e-commerce owners, affiliate marketers, info product creators, and like I said, local brick and mortar businesses. I love helping them because it's very easy to see a big difference very quickly. So here's a brief look at what we cover in this bootcamp. Week 1 is finding your perfect customer. We figure out exactly what your customers want, and we craft a perfect unique sales proposition to pinpoint what your benefits are and set you apart from the competition. We create a marketing cheat sheet so you never have to guess about what to write in your ads again or how to sell your products ever again. And we work on creating a customer avatar so who you're writing to is as clear as day. So there are going to be times when you wake up in the morning and you're like, oh my God, I have to write an email today. I have to send that promotion out. This is horrible. Yesterday was St. Patrick's Day. I'm incredibly hungover. I don't want to do this. And having these templates and having everything put together makes it as easy as copy and paste. And then we'll also work together to figure out what your exact KPIs are for your unique business and your unique situation so that you can succeed. Week 2, we do our first big sales push, and the goal of that is to cover the cost of the program and to start building your house list if you don't have one. The idea is massive imperfect action. We get your ads up and running ASAP, so like within 10 days from now, so that you can see results right away, and you get proven templates like the ones that I've shared with you that have generated 6 to 7 figures in sales each. We talk about how to structure your ads so they take a few minutes a day to manage, so we'll elaborate on what we talked about a little bit more, and how to set them up very, very quickly and easily, all using templates. And then, of course, we build your email list so that you can generate sales at the push of a button whenever you want. And that's the wonderful thing about this Facebook marketing stuff is that once you start building this list out, all you have to do is send an email out and you make money right away. So week 3, it's all about upgrading your marketing. We use a 7-step system to make sure that all of your marketing is set up to generate sales right now. We'll work together to transform your website into a sales tool rather than an information tool. And I'm going to share with you the secret to viral marketing that can get you 30 to 40% more traffic for free. And these extra sales can literally cover all your ad costs. So I ran a little test campaign about 2 weeks ago. And doing this, it brought in an extra 300 leads and $1,400 in sales off an $80 investment. So this is a phenomenally effective campaign. We'll talk about how to hunt down killer campaigns that you can mimic and save you time and money. So how to find advertising campaigns that you know are already successful so that you can clone them and get off to the races right away. And then you'll learn how to spot bad campaigns so you know what to avoid. There are a lot of really bad Facebook ad campaigns you want to make sure that you stay far, far away from. So week 4, we build our sales machine, and we focus on getting more sales by creating you a profit-churning sales funnel We create prepackaged promos that you can send out anytime, literally anytime, to create sales at the push of a button. I want to share with you the 2 voices email technique so that you get 40 to 50% open rates all the time. And the secret to selling your customers is exactly what they want, how to write subject lines that get your readers to open and click your emails. And I'll even share with you the best times and days to send emails to make the most amount of money ASAP, to get people to click and open right away. So week 5 is all about finding more money in your business. We talk about how to get 30% more revenue through simple upsells, how to add recurring and subscription products to your business, even if you have a business that you don't think they can work in, like how to apply this stuff to restaurant businesses, how to apply subscription products to hair salons, info products, whatever it is that you've got. Adding subscription products and adding recurring income to your business is one of the most stable ways to grow. We'll talk about why it's easier to sell more expensive items. And it all goes back to that CPA stuff. You know, if you can spend $5,000 to acquire a customer, it's a lot easier than if you have to spend $5. We'll talk about how to use less expensive items as downsells as well. And the secret to everlasting sales, your sales funnel, how to add to it, how to grow it, all that great stuff. Week 6, we're going to build your treasure map and talk about where every sale comes from. You'll learn how to track all of that stuff, how to figure out exactly which ads are profitable, not only which ads are getting clicks, but which ads are profitable, because they're not always the same. You can have an ad that has the worst click-through rate out of all of your ads, but it could be the most profitable. And if you don't know how to track that, you could be making judgment calls based on the click-through rate, and you could cancel an ad that's actually your best performer. So we'll talk about how to track where every click comes from, where every sale comes from, so you know exactly which ads are profitable so that you can scale, and exactly which ads aren't. We'll talk about how to split test your campaign so you're improving every single day, how to track your visitors and see exactly what they're clicking on and what parts of your site they're avoiding so you can fix that stuff. And I'll show you what to test so you get the most bang for your buck. And then Facebook ads the easy way. So imagine everything that we have in this call today times 10. Elaborated on, and more detail, and more understanding, and more one-on-one help. Learning how to set up your Facebook ads campaign in a few hours. Learning how to target by interest, location, income, almost anything you can imagine. So you saw one of my bride campaigns right there. That's for a local dentist that I'm working. It's targeting within 1 kilometer of his office, brides that are getting married in the next 6 months that have a household income over $100,000. And I ended up targeting somewhere around, I think, 1,400 brides. You could target anyone down to the absolute most minute detail. It is incredible what you can do with it. So I'll show you how to make sure your ads don't burn out. It's a huge issue that a lot of people run into. You run your ads and then they die and then you can't figure out why. I'm going to show you a trick that makes sure that you can run them almost indefinitely. Which campaigns work for the best offers, and how to find audiences that you never even thought of before. And then how to use retargeting to double your profit, and how to scale and expand all your advertising, and a whole lot more inside this Facebook stuff, way more than we could have ever possibly covered in the call today. And then just to make sure you know exactly what's going on and make sure you're on track, we have a bonus support week too. And it is one-on-one help the entire week. If you need help with anything at all, from copywriting to advertising to tech setup, let me know. We'll make sure that you're up and running ASAP, and you get your ads, your sales copy reviewed, everything, and we make sure that your tracking and testing is all working properly before you go forward. So this is essentially a catch-up week because life does get in the way. I understand that. You get review and personal help at every single step. All your marketing materials will be reviewed. All the copywriting will be reviewed. You get tech support, tech setup and support help if required. All necessary sales materials are provided. You get all the recommended tools, templates, everything that you could possibly need to get this working for your business, as well as individual coaching sessions. So I actually don't even sell these anymore. The only way that you can get individual coaching sessions are through these bootcamp programs. So it's you get 2 30-minute phone coaching sessions. I used to charge $500 for that. That's included in this. It can be used for anything at all related to marketing and sales in your business. And this is a very generous 30 minutes. I say 30 minutes more as a safety net for myself, but those 30 minutes usually stretch out to be quite a bit longer. And you can schedule that anytime within the duration of the program itself. So there are also weekly Q&A calls. It's designed to keep you accountable and on track. There are group calls. They're brainstorming sessions to make sure you get past any obstacles, so that say you're having a tech issue, while you come on the call, we work together, we resolve it on the call, and you're able to move forward. We also do a weekly ad review to make sure that your marketing is top notch, to make sure your ads are on point and converting as they should be. And of course, because this is a group thing, you're meeting new business owners and meeting new friends that are doing the same thing that you're doing right now. Everyone that is going through this is running a business just like you and has the same end goal. You're getting proven ad templates. These are campaigns that have generated hundreds of thousands of dollars over the course of 5 years. It's by far one of the most valuable aspects of the course. We literally have people in this program that signed up a month or so ago, a month and a half ago, that have taken campaigns, changed half a dozen words in them, sent them out to their list, and made thousands of dollars within days. I kid you not. And every time I run these campaigns across dozens of markets with dozens of clients, every single time they make money. So if you have a house list, this is the most valuable asset you'll ever possibly have. It's a copy and paste campaign that's incredibly, incredibly effective. So these campaigns have been proven to be successful more times than I can possibly count. They've generated combined probably close to $1 million in sales. They've had hundreds of thousands of people go through them. And we're always adding these types of campaigns to the Vault so that you can, the Vault is a part of a membership site that has all the swipe files, the templates, all the goodies that you can copy for yourself. And some of these campaigns, like I said, have generated close to 7 figures in sales. So you're also getting added into a Facebook mastermind group that's 8 weeks in our private Facebook group, private coaching with access to complete support staff, everything. It's very interactive. And of course, the weekly Q&A calls get posted here. So the end goal of this is to build a very, very efficient sales funnel that generates consistent sales on autopilot for you from any source of traffic. So yes, Facebook traffic does work. But what we're going to build here is a tool that you can use to throw any traffic at, which means that you're not going to get stuck having to pay expensive Facebook traffic. You can go and get cheap interstitial traffic. You could get traffic to work with Bing. You can get traffic to work with YouTube. It doesn't matter. As long as you know what your numbers are, what your KPIs are, it doesn't matter where you get your traffic as long as it converts within KPIs. So that's the end goal here, is to help you build a funnel that is so profitable that you can just toss any traffic at it and you're going to turn a profit. So what's the cost? Well, as I said, I started this program up about a month and a half ago. And as you guys know, I did a bit of a pivot and started working almost exclusively with small business owners. So I'm running ads for this program right now. And when people go to the ads and they attend the webinar and they apply to join the program and I chat with them on the phone, you want to know how much it costs? It's $5,000. Costs $5,000 US. And the reason why is because the companies I'm dealing with are making hundreds of thousands of dollars every year. And they're able to take this information and scale it and make a return on their investment very, very quickly. Now, I understand that not everybody is at that point. And because you guys are so awesome and because you told me exactly what you wanted to learn on this call, and I haven't had the opportunity to do this, and we've chatted before, and for a whole bunch of other reasons, I want to do a limited time discount. It is for this call only. I'm not going to make you pay $5,000 or $4,000 or $3,000 or anything like that. If you want to sign up and you want to work together over the next 8 weeks and build one of these super awesome sales machines, you can sign up today on the call for 2 payments of $997. And it is a limited time special. It's only available on this webinar. And like I said, I charge $5,000 for this for anyone that's not on my list. So if you see these ads and you apply through the sales funnel and you and I chat on the phone and do the whole strategy session thing, it's $5,000 for those people that come off those calls. For you, it's 2 payments of $997 because we have history together. So this is only available to my previous customers, my previous subscribers, and I need to keep the number of people that are registering for this low because there is a ton of one-on-one time involved and a ton of one-on-one interaction. And if I get like 20 people signing up to this, then it's not fair to those people because the attention's divided amongst too many. So right now, we've got about 10 to 15 people in the program. I can take on another 10 right now comfortably, but no more than that. So if this is something that interests you, go ahead, sign up tonight. And one last thing, just to pull out the Steve Jobs card here, One last thing. If you join on this call, you get access for life. And that's every update that we put out in the future, every new ad template that we share in the group, every new case study in every new market forever. So, oh yeah, and one more thing. Typically, when I do these calls, I make people apply. So, for anyone that's been on my calls before, the process that I do is I have people put down a deposit on the call, and I chat with you on the phone to make sure it's a good fit. And I do that for a number of reasons. One, to make sure that I can actually help you, but two, to make sure that I only get people in the program that I'm super excited and excited to work with, and believe I can make a really big impact with very, very quickly. Now, unfortunately, my coming week is absolutely jam-packed. So I'm doing something different today that I haven't done before, or I haven't done in a very, very long time, and that is no application necessary. So I'm not going to make anyone jump on the call with me. I'm not going to interview anyone. I'm not going to make anyone apply and jump through hoops. If you want this, if you think this is going to help your business, go ahead and sign up. There are only 10 spots available, and you can get in today at nolandirect.com/yes. So just as a bit of a quick recap there, it's 8 weeks of one-on-one individual marketing and sales coaching. And our goal here, you can see, our goal is to get you new sales in 10 days from now. That's why we have those templates, is to make it so that you get sales really, really quickly. So it's 8 weeks of one-on-one individual marketing and sales coaching, 8 weekly 1-hour group coaching calls with live demos, 2 private coaching sessions, daily help via almost any means necessary, full copy review of everything, which is priceless, tech setup and help provided the entire way, and prepackaged promotions that are always added, as well as access for life, not just for 8 weeks. And that is 2 payments of $9.97. It is first come, first serve. There are only 10 spots available. So go ahead, register your spot right now. Go ahead and reserve your spot at nolandirect.com/yes, and you can get in at the 2 payments of $9.97. And to get that ad chart, if you wanted to download that, it's at nolandirect.com/ad chart. All right. So there we go, guys, and that is the presentation. So that's my little Facebook ad spiel, and I hope you guys got a whole lot out of that. And now we can do some Q&A calls. By the way, for those of you that are interested, if you click through here, I'll show you. There's a little surprise. I actually didn't mention. I was debating mentioning it on the call. But if you go through here and you decide that you don't want to do the 2 payments of $9.97, if you wanted to just kind of clear it away all at once, there's a bit of a price break too. So you can take a look at that if that's something that interests you. But I also do have a PayPal payment button at the bottom. Threw that in there last minute because I got a couple of requests. But if this is the type of thing that you think would help your business, if this is the type of thing that you need to get more sales right now, you want to get your Facebook marketing set up, you want to get that in line, you want to get your sales funnels working, your advertising profitable, this is the best, fastest way to do that. So go ahead, guys, and let me know if you have any questions about anything that we've covered so far, and I will go ahead and open up the floor. Okay, so let's see. I'm trying to resize my screen here so I can see what's going on. There we go. So move that over. Move this over. No, still not working for me. So hopefully, you know what? I'm going to close this and I'm going to open it up again, and hopefully it'll pop up then and I'll be able to see. Okay, so there we go. Now I can scroll. Now everything's coming up properly. And I've got a question from Mike saying, is there a number you recommend we set as a KPI when brand new starting? Okay, so we answered that one. Why are the 5,000 not just as rapid as the first 1,000 if it did not change the filters? Because of the way that Facebook... So excellent question, awesome. So that's because of the way Facebook optimizes their campaigns. So if you've got an audience that is 10,000 people... Facebook knows, after optimizing your ads for those 3 days, which people in that group of 10,000 are most likely to convert. And if you've got a budget of $50, then it's only going to advertise, it's only going to show your ads to the people within that 10,000 that are most likely to click on it, even though it can advertise it to anyone in that group. So Facebook's smart enough to know that. But as you increase your ad budget, Facebook needs to show that ad to more people. You're telling Facebook, I want you to show my ad to more people. And there aren't enough people within that group that are rabid fans, so it starts to show to people that are outside of that group, which is what increases your cost per click and decreases your revenue. So Sue's saying, in the scenario of selling $4.95 per month newsletter, what's an estimate of the KPIs, the ballpark? Well, one of the best ways that I like to use to sell newsletters is to give items away for free and have newsletters as the upsell. So what I will do is I'll give an item away, like the guitar picks, I'll give them away for free. And then somebody will click through the ad, and then that's usually 1 to 3%, and then they will opt in, and that's usually 40%, and then other people that click on the ad, 10% will buy, and that ends up costing me about $3 per click, $3 to $4 to get a sale. So I'm maybe making $1 per sale from that, and then anything afterwards, because you're breaking even on the front end right away, anything after that is just profit. So you're able to put your newsletter behind there and say, hey, why don't you sign up for my newsletter? Click this button. And even if everybody says no, it doesn't matter because you've already broken even, and you can continue to advertise to them after the fact. So as long as you're breaking even on the front end, that's the main thing. So there are a few different ways to sell your newsletter, and we can definitely talk about that after the call. But that's kind of the concept to keep in mind there. Mike says, I'd like to do it. Mike Dubiel is in. Awesome, Mike. Well, hey, I'm looking forward to working with you, my friend. Kelvin's saying, thanks, good info. Fantastic. Well, I'm glad you liked it. Becca's saying, off topic, but do you have a replay for the webinar last week? I had to leave before it was finished, but really wanted to learn it. Yeah, actually, if you check through your email, Becca, both I and Stuart sent out several emails with the replay in it. So if you just search for niche hacks or passive print, you'll find the information for sure. Okay, yes, I see your question too. So I already got to that. So we can definitely chat about your specific KPIs after the fact. Mike says, just signed up and paid through PayPal. Looking forward to working with you and your team. Awesome, Mike. I'm glad. Andrew says, have you done work with professional services, mortgage pros, realtors, insurance brokers? Andrew, I used to be a financial advisor. So the presentation that I run that sells this marketing bootcamp program has a giant section in it that talks about how to get sales and how to get leads for professional services like real estate agents, financial brokers, mortgage brokers, all of that stuff. So I have a wealth of experience doing that, and a wealth of experience including the limitations involved with advertising, like regulations and rules, and making sure that you're compliant. So yes, funny enough that you would ask that, but I have a lot of experience doing that because that's how I got into this world. So back in 2008, I was working as a financial advisor, and as I'm sure you're aware, 2008 was not the best year to be working as a financial professional. Stock market crashed, the market lost trillions of dollars, and pretty much anybody in the financial sector had their business go belly up. I lost clients hand over fist, and I had to figure out how to build them back up very, very quickly or go broke. And I holed myself up in my office for probably a couple of months and read everything I possibly could get my hands on marketing. Started applying it towards my financial services business. I was straight commission too, so I didn't have a draw on salary or anything like that. So this had to work. So got that working, built my business back up again, and started getting attention from other advisors and other professionals in the area. They started asking for help, and I started helping them with their businesses, opened up a consulting company, and from then, my courses and my programs and all of that great stuff have been downloaded over 250,000 times. I've had 30,000 plus people attend presentations just like this one right here, and I've helped small business owners build hundreds, if not thousands, of businesses around the world. So yeah, I have a ton of experience because that's exactly how I got into this market. So if you need a hand with that stuff, Andrew, let me know. Go ahead and reserve your spot, and I'll gladly chat with you and help you out as best I can. Mike's saying, would you repeat the cost breakdown of the $5 a month newsletter and breakdown at the end? Yeah, Mike, send me an email separately and we can chat about that. Because with the $5 newsletter, we're going to need to go through a little bit more of a complicated follow-up funnel. And I'm not sure if you registered for tomorrow's webinar, but I've got a webinar for this. For most of the people, Mike, have no idea what we're talking about, by the way. But if you're not registered for the training webinar for tomorrow, for everyone else that's on the call, Mike signed up for another program that I have. We're going to be doing a training webinar, and I'll explain the exact funnel and the breakdown for the KPIs for that tomorrow morning. So yeah, we'll go into that in a whole bunch of detail. So do you guys have any more questions on any of that stuff? Awesome. So yeah, Mike, my friend, you are going to get a ton out of this. Being able to combine both these systems, learning the marketing behind it, having the newsletter, it's like a 1-2 punch. It's everything that you could possibly need to get this up and running. So I'm thrilled to have you in both programs, my friend. This is going to be a lot of fun. Okay, so that is pretty much it for the call, guys. Unless you have any more questions, make sure you sign up on the call today if you wanted to take advantage of that $9.97 program. I sell this for $5,000. I mean, you guys can take a look at if you go to nolandirect.com/webinar right now and you watch this webinar. Actually, Andrew, you might want to watch this because it's got the stuff about the financial services business. But you can see this webinar is running tomorrow in 11 hours from now, and people can attend this. And when they sign up through this, they pay $5,000. If you guys want to sign up for this, it's $9.97, 2 payments of $9.97, and I've never done that before. So, like, literally, this is the first time, more than likely the last time as well, because I like to do the application stuff. So, go ahead if it's something that's interesting to you. If you think it's going to help your business, sign up while we're on the call. nolandirect.com/yes, and I will chat with you guys later. So, if you have any specific questions, either let me know now or send them to me via email. And Sue says, what's home income plan? Go ahead, send me an email about that. That's actually Sue, send me an email about that, and I'll explain that via email, okay? Because that requires a bit more of an explanation, and I think it could be related to something else that we might be working on. All right, so that's pretty much it, guys, like I said, but hopefully you got a ton out of this webinar, and if you do have any questions, let me know. Have a wonderful day, everyone, and I will chat with you through email, all right? Ciao.